3 secrets I use to break the ceiling price on every property I've sold. Welcome to the 3rd video in this 3-part series. In this video, I share with you the secrets I've used throughout my career to create over 7 figures of net profit from property since 2012. By being aware of these things before you start, it allows you to factor them into a development and makes the whole process much less stressful. There are 2 very important factors when it comes to making money from property development: the price you buy it for and the price you sell it for. That sounds ridiculously simple, just buy low and sell high, surely. In an ideal world, yes, that is perfect. Unfortunately, this world is often not ideal. The following 3 strategies are essentials to ensure you get the best possible price and don't leave any money on the table when you sell. Number 1, understand your buyer. Every house I've sold since 2014, the buyer has always been worked out way before any work has started. Don't get me wrong, if someone turned up who didn't fit my idea of the perfect buyer, then I'm not going to turn their money away. However, every time the end buyer has been someone very similar to the type of person that house was designed for. By working out who the ideal buyer for the property is, before you even start work, you can quickly make design decisions on what adds value and what doesn't. For example, if it's the sort of people that are going to be working from home, then having an office set up is a good investment. If it's likely to be a family, then instead of having an office, an extra bedroom will generally be more appealing. Some of the characteristics that I normally think about are: is it a single person, is it a couple, is it a family? Perhaps it's multi-generational living. What are the ages of all the people? If it's a family, how many children? Where do they live now? What do they want to move to the area for? What is it about the property that attracts them? What do they do for work? Are they looking for a lifestyle or work change? What are their hobbies or interests? What sort of car do they drive? What's their financial situation? Is it a cash purchase? Or do they have something to sell? Are they downsizing or are they moving up the property ladder? What are the specific things they need from a property or home? Now, this list is by no means exhaustive, but should give you a bit of a starting point. What I'll do is I'll dive right into the detail with this. I'll give them names, I'll build up a whole profile of what the ideal buyer looks like. By fully understanding your buyer, it enables you to be able to also understand how they think and what their needs are. If you can design the ideal property for a buyer, then it will make it an extremely easy decision for them to purchase. If you can add things that are beneficial, this will add value to them. Thus, more money for you. My 2021 project, The Lookout in Ilminster, Somerset, was a detached 1950s red brick 3-bedroom house. I personally felt it was fairly uninspiring in comparison to the work we normally do. However, I knew it was in an extremely good area and it had the most amazing westerly view spanning 180 degrees to the front. Some of the people around me were sure that the end buyer would be a family. The property had a lot of steps and a small garden. The price bracket I wanted to take it to was £535,000, meaning that, in my opinion, the average family looking to buy in that price bracket would value floor space and a large garden over stunning views. I decided that the ideal buyer would probably be a couple who were taking early retirement, still pretty fit, therefore the steps would not be an issue, would be looking to downsize from the family home, probably in the southeast, therefore will need plenty of storage and spare bedrooms when their children and maybe grandkids come to visit. They'd be moving for a calmer, more relaxing way of life, therefore stunning views are then very important and give a huge amount of value to them. I figured they'd be looking for something where everything in the house was done, so they didn't have any DIY jobs to worry about. They would want quite a modern, contemporary feel to the house. Now this worked as the house was not old enough to give it the rustic style that we normally do. The buyer for the house walked in the door and fell in love with the place instantly. They loved the views as it was totally different to their family home in Buckinghamshire. The extra storage was really handy for them and a big tick. The large bedrooms were perfect when the kids come to visit. They are currently loving life there while settling into their early retirement. That's a true story. Now obviously it's important not to create something so niche that it discounts every other potential buyer out there. For this reason, always make sure you have a support network of people around you who can bounce ideas around with you. Number 2, dress to impress. Dressing houses to sell them is essential for getting the best possible price, in my opinion. Often, when going through Rightmove, I'll see a newly renovated house and I can see loads of care has been taken over the masonry work and the carpentry looks good, yet I'm presented with a load of photos of empty, soulless, uninspiring rooms. The developers who did this would no doubt say, well, people can just imagine their own stuff in there, can't they? That's my impression of an ignorant builder, by the way, just in case you wondered. The thing is, most people have no imagination. If you're in property development and you want to be getting the best possible prices for your work, then you're not in the business of selling houses. Instead, you're in the business of selling lifestyles. If you can create the perfect lifestyle purchase for someone, then you're providing a huge amount of value for them. This makes them far less price sensitive. An estate agent once gave me a really great example. So they had this empty house that wouldn't sell. A couple looked at it, they really liked the house and the area, but they felt the bedrooms were a bit too small. They said, once you have a double bed in there, there is no room for a wardrobe and a chest of drawers. Fortunately, the savvy vendor took this feedback on board and furnished the whole house, fitted out each room quite simply but with the basics. In the bedroom, he put a double bed, a wardrobe and a chest of drawers. The agent got the same couple to come back for another viewing. They agreed to purchase the house on the spot. The main thing that swung it for them was the fact that there was so much space in the bedrooms. Now obviously, to fully dress a house does take considerable effort. Therefore, a lot of people don't bother. Personally, I always have and always will dress a house. I will often gain £20,000 to £30,000 for a bit of extra work and effort. Number 3, finding the right estate agent. Often people assume that all estate agents are the same. Far from it. Having the right estate agent can not only make a huge difference to the end figure you receive, but can also help the sale to go through with a lot more ease and less stress. The thing that many don't realise is that often estate agents have price brackets and styles of property they specialise in. You'll find ones focused at the lower end of the market, say up to 300,000, others who work more in the mid-range, say 300,000 to 1 million, and then ones who focus on higher price brackets, so maybe 1 million plus. A quick look on the internet or in their shop window can ascertain where they sit. But please note, these are not fixed price brackets, more of a rough guide I've come up with. So the first thing I would look for when selling a house is a company that is used to selling property in a similar price range to that which mine is. Then it's best to do a bit of market research. If you inquire about properties for sale before mentioning about selling yours, it gives you an insight into the company from a buyer's perspective. This is how they will be perceived by your potential buyer. So if a company does not reply, takes a long time to provide the relevant information, says they will do something, then fails to deliver, is rude, generally uninterested or unhelpful, does not have much information on the property, then yeah, I'll generally avoid them. If, however, they are passionate and enthusiastic, if they follow up when they say they will, if they have the relevant information, or if they don't have it, get it and come back to me, do what they say they're going to do when they say they're going to do it, can provide good quality brochures and sales information, then yeah, this is a company that is worth looking into further. Often, when you question people about the choice of estate agent they've decided to sell with, they'll say something along the lines of, oh, my brother Steve knows them from the pub. Now, personal recommendations can be absolutely great way of discovering a good quality company, but instead, get it from someone who they have done work for. If they say something like, they did a great job of getting my house sold quickly and efficiently with minimal fuss, that's way better than, oh yeah, they're good at darts. It can sometimes be worth going with a company whom you're sat at the top end of their price bracket rather than the bottom. So selling your property will be a big payday to them in comparison to what they normally get. But just be mindful to ensure they are well set up to manage the sale all the way through. Having a good sales progression team can make all the difference between getting a sale completed quickly and it dragging on for ages. One of the often underestimated factors is taking personal accountability. What is meant by this? Rather than relying on the estate agent to ensure that all the T's are crossed and the I's are dotted, ensure you have done everything you need to do. This is things like ensuring all the forms are filled out. If you have had any planning permission, then ensuring that everything is signed off and complete. Same with building regulations and any compliance required. Things like this can cause a major issue and mean sales can fall apart further down the line. So if you're going into property development, then you're entering a people business. Therefore, the greatest asset you have are the people you work with. Over time, these people can make up essential members of your team. The better you treat them now, generally, the better they will work for you going forward. So in conclusion, by practicing these principles along your journey, it allows you to start thinking ahead. When I first view a property, I'll already be thinking about the best angle for it to be photographed from for the sales brochure when I sell it. This is before I've even purchased it. I will think about what the end buyer will be amazed by as they approach it. These things are then easy to create in the design process. So this series of 3 videos is just a little snapshot of what's available in my course, First Timer's Guide to Property Renovation and Development. In the course, I break down every step of the process, from sourcing property, managing the design process, scheduling work, selling the property, and absolutely everything in between. This is the course I wish it existed, and I even searched for it in 2010 when I first started out. If you want property renovation and development to become part of your personal success story, then this course can get you a lot further, a lot faster. The cost of this course is easily recouped by following just one of the 22 units. So I look forward to welcoming you on board. Thanks.